Hey everybody, after our last PD session, there were still a few questions left about instructional rounds, so hopefully this short video will clarify some of those for you. Now, our purpose of instructional rounds coincides directly with our work with PLCs. This is an opportunity for us to collect data about student engagement, not teacher engagement, and focus on student learning rather than teaching. It provides us authentic data to facilitate conversations on cognitive engagement and improving our practices that can take place in our PLC. Now, IPI is based on instructional practices created by Jerry Valentine of the University of Missouri and is used across the nation. How IPI works is as people coming into the classroom, and this could be instructional coaches or hopefully will soon be PLC leaders during learning walks, come in and take a quick snapshot of what's going on in the classroom, usually around 1 to 3 minutes. Now, this is different from last year where instructional coaches were in your classroom for about 20 minutes. So this quick snapshot, they're just kind of looking around, or we'll have short conversations with your students and ask what they're learning so that we can see how engaged they are in the lesson and what's taking place in the classroom. From there, we mark on a scale of 1 to 6, and the numbers don't really matter. It's more the description that goes with the number of where engagement is at that point in time we're in the classroom. Complete and disengagement is a 1, and this is students are not engaged in the learning at all. They could be on their phones, they could be having conversations not related, and it's the majority of the students in your room. We have student work with teacher not engaged, student work with teacher engaged, teacher-led instruction at a 4, student learning conversations, and active engaged learning at a 6. None of these is better than the others, of course, with the exception of non-student engagement. And there's a time and a place for every level of student engagement in the classroom. It just happens to be where you're at when we pop in at that time. So keep that in mind. This is not a judgment on the teacher, but really an evaluation of the engagement level of the students in the classroom. So how do we collect this data? We collect this data usually on our phones using this form right here. It's very similar to the rubric that you saw before. And again, we pop in for anywhere from about 1 to 3 minutes, have short conversations with your students. When possible, we don't want to disrupt your classrooms. Mark it on our Google form, and it gives us a response pie chart that looks like this for individuals. Notice that is completely anonymous. There is no names, there's no classrooms. We don't even collect the time in which we came in. We do collect how many classrooms we visit so that we can make sure that we hit as many classrooms as possible. And that's sometimes too why you will see us at different times during the day. So our summary of responses looks like this, and this is what is pushed out to you weekly in the newsletter. And this is just so that you have an idea of what's taking place in the building so you can engage in those different conversations of maybe you feel like you're at a 3 or you're at a 4 a lot and you'd really like to have some lessons that are in the 5 and 6. Having those conversations with your PLC members to work and support to get those to 5 and 6s are great. But again, keep in mind, you don't have to be at a 5 and 6 all the time. There is a place for these different levels in lessons at certain points and almost always happen at different times during your lessons. Also, we are not keeping descriptive feedback, but we would be happy to give you some. So if you want something more than just, a click on our phone and you want us to leave you a little note or let you know what we've witnessed, go ahead, send us an email and we'd be happy to do that. All right, we really hope this has answered your remaining questions in terms of instructional rounds and learning walks. If you have more, feel free to shoot us an email and we'd be happy to answer them. Have a great day, ADM.